we're just very blessed to be here, and we feel very fortunate that we were able to be selected by the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Our kids have had a blast. It's been a great 2 or 3 days since we've been here. The hospitality is second to none. Everything's done first class. We had a great FCA breakfast this morning that I think all the players got a lot out of. In terms of just the bowl and what these guys have been able to do in terms of having a mixture of hard work yet still being able to do some really fun team activities together, it's been great. And so we're excited to be here. We're just really excited to be here and very appreciative. And like I said, it's been a great week so far.
Thanks for that, Coach. All right, Philip, for you, while you guys were coming in, we were talking a little bit about the Battle for Bowl Week competitions, the daily competitions against Virginia. Philip, talk a little bit about what that's been like and kind of a unique experience for you guys so far.
It's been fun. Chick-fil-A has done a great job of just kind of keeping our mind off football when we're not in practice, and making it kind of another competition with Virginia in basketball pop-a-shot and who can eat the most food at our restaurants and stuff like that. And so we're all just having fun and enjoying the free time and enjoying the events that they're holding for us.
Nosa, what's your favorite competition going to be, do you think?
Well, for me, I love the Brazilian steakhouse. So by far, eating the meat, at the Brazilian steakhouse has been my favorite.
I said we're actually going to have they're weighing the food right now, and they have been doing it literally all night. So we're going to have some poundage numbers that we'll release today. But all right, well, thanks for that, guys. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Anybody at all? Somebody's got to be first. Charles Owen.
Coach Chizik, can you just talk about how your tailbacks have responded in bowl practice to the opportunity they have this week?
Well, I think that they see this as a great opportunity. I think that we have some young guys on the team that are going to embrace this opportunity that they have. Ontario McCaleb obviously will have to play a more significant role when it comes to carrying the football. Not that we'll change what he does; he'll just have to do a little bit more of it. Trey Mason, I think, has really embraced the situation in terms of an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for a true freshman to be able to come into a game like this. And just have the chance to show his teammates and show the Auburn family that he's going to be a really good player down the road, and I think that's exciting for him. So, but I think the other thing is that I think the rest of our offense has embraced the fact that we got to take it to another level to give these guys an opportunity to run the football. So I think our offensive line feels that way. Our tight ends and everybody involved in the offense, I think everybody's got to pick it up a notch, and we got to take it to another level.
Gene, this is Gus's swan song, obviously. When you look at the game plan he's put together, are you pretty happy with what he's put together and the way he wants to go out?
I'll tell you after the game. I'm just kidding. Yes. Yeah, Gus has done a great job. I'm just very appreciative. Gus has got a lot of irons in the fire right now, and this is really, it's tough serving two masters, so to speak, but he cares enough about the players and he cares enough about Auburn to stay here through the bowl game, and I'm very appreciative of that. He's been very focused when it's time to focus on Auburn and us being able to be very competitive in the game. I think he's done a tremendous job because it's hard to balance the two. There's no question. He's trying to put together a staff, he's trying to recruit, yet he's trying to win a game, his last game for Auburn. So I'm just very appreciative of him and him, staying for the bowl game. And he wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, that's the way he wants it. So he'll have a great game plan. I don't have any question or any doubt about that. And I think the guys will execute it really well. So, again, I'm very appreciative and it's going well.
All right, guys, raise your hand. We will get you a wireless mic to you. Just raise your hand. We'll call it.
For both the players, we just talk about the trip to the MLK Center yesterday and kind of what you guys got out of that.
It was a great experience, just to be able to go to such a historical site, and learn about, what this was just not even for us, but for our nation, and how it was a big development, in Congressman Lewis's life, and him just giving us firsthand experience. You can read about it in a book, but when you can hear something with firsthand experience, there's nothing like it, and it's something I'll be able to tell my kids about.
Yeah, and being from Atlanta, you know, I've had opportunities to go there through grade school, middle school, and high school on high school field trips and stuff like that. And I just kind of was telling the guys before what they're going to experience and the feelings that are going to be brought up. And like Nosa said, how important it is for this country. And I mean, it's just awesome to get some of the guys on the team who are from Alabama who haven't seen it before get that experience as well.
Okay, right here.
Daisy, Martin, this is cold I've got. You know, it seems like the defensive players are really responding to how tough you've been as coordinator. They kind of appreciate that. Are you going to apply that into your search for a new coordinator and say, hey, maybe I'm looking for a guy who's a little tougher, maybe more of a tough love guy? Does that matter to you?
You know, I just want the best fit for our players. And, you know, whatever and whoever that best fit is, you know, that's my #1 priority. You know, I want a guy that's going to care about the players. I want a guy that's going to be very demanding and make the players very accountable, but making sure that, you know, he loves them as much as he coaches them and gets on them too. I mean, I think that's the way you coach. That's the way I coach. So I feel good about the direction that we're headed, and but my #1 goal will always be for these players to bring in who I think is the best fit for them and for Auburn.
Okay, right over here.
Coach, building off the MLK question, can you talk about the benefit of the bowl week experience as opposed to just the regular game day where you're out of town, go to a game, turn on a couple?
Well, you know, these bowl games, it's all about the players. It's all about rewards for the players. You know, we were talking about it on the car ride coming over here, how long these seasons are. You know, and you go out there and you practice 15 times, you know, to play in one game. That's not always fun. I mean, let's just be realistic about it. It's hard work. It's tough work. And for them to be able to, you know, practice in the morning, break away from everything and do something that, you know, normally, like going, you know, to different places they've gone to and experienced, you know, to going to the Martin Luther King, going to different places that they've eaten and things like that, they're not going to do that on their own. I mean, for the most part, they're not going to do that. So I think it's a great opportunity for our guys to escape football, you know, when it's time to escape football, and to give them a reward for things that, you know, they've worked so hard for. I mean, we've had a season that's been, you know, we've had some great times, we've had some tough times. I want these guys to have a great end of the season with a great bowl reward. And it's invaluable that they can do things outside of football that have nothing to do with football, where they can learn about Martin Luther King, they can learn about, you know, different things, they can experience different cultures or different parts of the culture, you know, that other than going to school, going to study hall, playing football, and this gives you an opportunity to do that. So, you know, that's why I really embrace these times for our players.
Philip, what about you? Have you got a comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, just getting the opportunity to see different places. I mean, I'm from here, so it's cool to have some of my teammates and friends on the team get to experience kind of how I grew up and things that I grew up around in my city, which is Atlanta. So it's just a good opportunity. I think people learn more about me from visiting this city.
No, so what about you?
Yeah, I mean, especially with me, you know, being from Texas, you know, I've been to Atlanta, you know, last year, you know, for the SC Championship. My brother actually lives here, but just to, you know, see the type of things that, you know, that I haven't seen, which is like the MLK Center and those type of deals, you know, it was really nice, and I enjoy it. Every time you get a chance to, you know, be at a bowl site, no matter where it is, you know, you just take it all in and you enjoy it.
Okay, right here in front.
For Coach and for Nosa, these extra practices, these bowl practices, how beneficial has it been in terms of a building block for next season, seeing as you have such a young football team?
Well, you know, it's really neat to see. You know, we finish the season. You know, they get a couple of weeks off and they come back, and it's neat to see some of the young guys, you know, in that 2-week span of being separated from, you know, football and being separated from their first year, because this is almost like a pre-spring practice. You can already watch those guys come back 2 weeks later after the last game, and they already look better. And so I think, you know, it's really a good thing to see, because, you know, we feel like the future is extremely bright. We've got a lot of really good young players, and you can see them in this window of however many practices we've had, you can see them getting better. And I think everybody would agree with that. So it's definitely invaluable that we get the extra practice time. There's no question about it. The young guys, the freshmen and the redshirt freshmen, which those two classes together are big for us. I think it's invaluable.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Coach Chizik. Just that experience you get with these, with the 2 weeks where you get to go out there every single day and get better at your craft. I mean, you can't really get them back. I mean, teams that don't make it to a bowl game. Those are 2 weeks that you have on them. I mean, as far as when workouts go, you're working. Spring football, those are practices that are big. But 2 weeks that you can just get to, yeah, we're focusing on Virginia, but we're also focusing on getting better at what we do. And every single day we got to work on getting better at one thing and just continue just to do what we have to do to get better as a football team, but individually as a player too.
Okay, right here in the middle.
This is for Philip. In what ways did the offense look different or work differently with Mike not back there, with Trey and Ontario shouldering those duties?
I think when Mike was with us, he was the downhill type runner, power back, and so you really only saw out of Ontario and Trey the jet motion type runs and the sweeps and the screen passes. And I think both guys are taking that kind of personal and playing with the chip on their shoulder, saying that they want to be that downhill runner, that inside zone runner. And so I'm sure you'll see some of that, both of them being the two backs this week. And I can't wait to see what they do on the field.
Okay, back in the back.
Coach, being that you guys, a lot of the players here have played at the Georgia Dome before, and a lot of players are from Georgia, how much of a home field advantage do you think this gives you, your team?
I think anytime that you've experienced the place that you're playing in, I certainly feel like, it doesn't hurt. How much of a home field advantage will it be? I know the Auburn family is going to show up, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to do their part like they do when we play at home. How much of an advantage that'll be for us, I don't know. I'm sure Virginia's going to bring the same amount, and it's going to be crazy both sides. But the one thing that I do feel good about is that we've played, in this venue before, and it's really neat to, after we're going to play in this venue twice in a row, and this time next year as well. So, or not this time next year, but at the beginning of next year. So, I think we have a little bit more of a familiarity with it, and that's a good thing for us. But I don't know what kind of advantage that may create.
And Phil, if you could comment on that also.
Okay, to Phil.
Yeah, I know I said the other day that our fans, we could play in Boise and we'd have the same amount of fans travel out there. That's just the kind of passion and family that we have at Auburn. And Virginia's going to travel well too. It's their first bowl game in a couple of years, so they'll be all jacked up. Their fans will be here full force too. So it's just going to be a great environment. And it might give us a little bit of upper hand having played on this turf before and being used to the lights and everything and practicing here all week. So we're just excited for the opportunity to be here and to play in the Georgia Dome again.
All right, here in the middle.
Coach Chizik, back here talking about Virginia. You've seen them on game film, I'm sure, for the last couple of weeks since the announcement came out that you guys would play them. Specifically, what have you seen and what are you impressed by them by?
Well, I see a very well-coached football team. Mike has done a really, really nice job. You just talk about the defensive side of the ball, very sound at what they do. They don't try to get real flashy and they play hard, they play physical. If you look at the stats in the ACC, defensively they're going to be in the top 3 or 4 stats in a lot of different categories. They just play hard and physical, and their coaches coach them hard, and they get to the football, and it's really fun to watch their defense, from a defensive perspective, because they do a lot of great things. Offensively, it's very problematic because they're all over the place. They're shifting, motion, trading, and it gives them a definite advantage right now when it comes to moving the football. They've got running backs right now that are both physical enough to run downhill, yet they can break it to the perimeter. They've got great vision, and when they get to the perimeter, they can run. They've got some wide receivers that obviously can make some plays down the field. Their offensive line is very big and physical. They want to run the ball first, and they want to play action you off that. And when they want to throw the ball vertically down the field, they can do that too. But the challenges in preparing for them offensively for Auburn's defense is that there's just a lot of moving parts to it, and that's part of what makes them really, really good. But very well coached.
Okay, right here in front.
Virginia and the players, I mean, you don't have a lot of seniors, but These guys have been around for a while and kind of have experienced a lot of ups and downs. Can you talk about the contribution those guys have made to the program, and I guess wanting to send them out the right way?
Well, we do, and I know Philip and Nosa can speak from a player's perspective, but you know, you never want your seniors to go out, you know, on a sour note, and they put a lot of time and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into Auburn. So, you know, it's very important for us to be able to win this bowl game for a lot of reasons, but one of them being them. And they've had a lot of different scenarios. I mean, the guys that are seniors here, most of them have been through a coaching change. So, you know, they got recruited by one coach, and then all of a sudden this other guy comes in, you know. And so there's been a lot of change, but there's been a lot of great things for them too. You know, they've experienced a national championship, which, as we all know, are very hard to come by, and an SEC championship. They've experienced some bowl games, 3 in a row now, which is exciting for them. But again, you know, we want to send them out on a good note.
Okay, good note.
Coach Chizik, it's going to be a unique experience. You'll be a head coach / defensive coordinator on Saturday. Has it been a greater workload since you took on that extra responsibility? Are there any advantages to it?
Part A, yes. It has been a greater workload. And Part B, I haven't found any advantages to it yet. But I've had a lot of fun. So, all joking aside, you know, it's been, you know, I've been a defense coordinator for 12 or 13 years, obviously, so it's kind of like getting on a bike and start riding it again. But, you know, you still, you know, you've got 2 jobs, and so it's been challenging, no question about it. Probably the thing that I've enjoyed the most about it is getting back in there in a lot of depth with the players, and I miss that. You know, and not that I don't do it as a head coach, but you're a little more spread out. You know, when you're doing the head coaching, you know, thing. So it's been challenging, but it really has been a lot of fun for me, and I've really enjoyed the part of being hands-on with the guys, and they've really responded well. I'm really proud of them. You know, it's a little bit different probably in some ways, but you know, we've had a lot of fun. So I hope they can say the same thing.
All right, time for a few more. Any other, Carol?
Philip, this is for you. Can you just talk about the season that you've had and the progress you've made in your Auburn career and just your knack for being in the end zone, catching the ball?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun this season. Probably the most fun I've had in all 3 seasons. I know we won the national championship, which was a blessing last year, and it was a lot of fun as well. But this year, you know, we really didn't know our identity as a team going into the season, and just to be able to be a part of, you know, helping all these younger guys grow and just kind of watching this team evolve as the season go on has just been an amazing experience for me, and kind of being one of the leaders of the team along with Nosa, just seeing this team grow has been special to me. And you know, I know I have a lot of work to do to get where I want to be, and I'm just going to keep working at it.
Gene, there's a USA Today report that says you and Chip Kelly are going to be doing guest spots on ESPN for the national championship game. I guess first off, just can you comment on that? And second off, I mean, it seems kind of out of character for you. I mean, is that going to be weird, kind of putting yourself out there so much?
No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be weird for me. Might be weird for the people that are watching me. But yeah, you know, I decided to do that. I just, you know, I feel like, you know, it's a great exposure for Auburn, without question. I feel like, you know, me being in this league and having information about both football teams that, you know, that I think would be helpful for the viewers if they want to ask me questions in regards to the game, where I can impart some information that I know. You know, I think it'll be fun. So, but again, it's great exposure for Auburn, and you know, the SEC's tradition over the last several years of playing in that game obviously is big, and so I decided to do it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, right up here in the back.
Coach in the back, you talked about UVA's offense and how much motion they have. Have you faced a team that has a similar offense like UVA this year?
No, not this year. We haven't. We've faced some teams that move some and really kind of try to get you discombobulated in there some. But this is pretty much 3/4 of the game, you know, and you know, it's really kind of a catch me if you can type situation, you know, with so much movement, trades and shifts and different personnel groupings and things of that nature. It's very challenging, and so nobody that we've played does quite, you know, this amount of extensive moving, and so it's a little bit different than anybody we've faced this year.
All right, time for one more. Anybody right here? Microphone, please.
There you go.
Gene, the 2012 schedule came out this morning. Could you just comment on that? What you feel like how it came out for you guys?
Well, I think we got a great schedule next year, Philip. I think our home schedule is really good. Obviously, you know, Texas A&M joined the league, so we have them. You know, we're playing Texas A&M that we haven't, you know, we've never played those guys before. We traded Florida. You know, you know, if there wasn't any changes in the league, we'd have obviously been going to Florida to play. But we've got Vanderbilt. We've got, you know, obviously we're excited about opening the season next year with Clemson here. You know, our non-conference schedule right now is good. And, you know, when you play in this league, the 8 conference schedule, you know, the 8 games you got to play in this conference schedule, they're bare. And so we've got our work cut out for us. Obviously, we've got, you know, Arkansas, Georgia, LSU, I think an A&M at home. So, you know, and then we've got our tough road games, as we know in this league, at Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Alabama. So, but at home we've got the defending SEC West champions coming in. We got the defending SEC East champions coming in. You know, it's just it's a good schedule. It'll obviously always be challenging as long as you're in this league, but it'll be fun, and we're looking forward to it. Starting with you know, our opening game in the Dome here.